A future class action lawsuit will focus on dental care for Indigenous patients administered by the federal government from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Some of the incidents being alleged involve removing healthy teeth, drilling without freezing, and work being done in hospital basements. CTV's Brady Lang has more.
Always that fear of getting hit all the time.
Melissa McKay of Papikasis still lives in fear of going to the dentist. She is one of hundreds expected to join a class action lawsuit against Indigenous Services Canada.
I remember laying there with your mouth open and they put that rubber over your mouth and it covers you.
From the 60s to the 80s, students as young as 5 were taken to dentists hired by what was then known as Indian Affairs, and these were no ordinary dentists.
And the needles, and then they would do work without waiting for the freezing to set in.
McKay says she can still remember the first time she was sent to see the dentist. She was at the old day school on Papikasis. She was a kindergarten student, and her and all of her peers were packed into a bus and sent 18 kilometers away to neighboring Balcarres.
To the old hospital. And then the dentist was down in the basement.
The experience has led to struggles for McKay in the years following.
Ever since then, as soon as I go to a dentist, I have very bad anxiety attacks. I can't breathe. I want to get sick. I have to run to the bathroom. I'm shaking. And it's just as soon as I sit in that chair and that smell, and that's that trigger, and it takes me right back, and then I grab my face because I'm waiting for that slap.
McKay spent much of her school years in Balcarres. She recalls how she and her Indigenous classmates were pulled out of class and taken to the neighboring hospital for treatment. It was a yearly event and one most students dreaded. The suit, in its early stages, is looking for anyone impacted from coast to coast across Canada. The Band Members Advocacy Alliance Association of Canada is working on the case with a Calgary-based law firm.
The interest in this is substantial. Our call volume and email response has been enormous.
Indigenous Services Canada did not respond to a request for comment by deadline Wednesday. For McKay, she thinks the suit feels like closure.
It brings up the past that I can deal with now. I can talk about it and I can get rid of it.
Brady Lang, CTV News, Yorkton.
Rob Louie is the president of the Band Members Advocacy Alliance Association of Canada, and he joins us now for more on this. Rob, thank you so much for joining us here. What can you tell us about this lawsuit and how did it come about?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here. So it was over the past year when BMAC was in Saskatchewan on a number of different legal issues, ranging from election matters to the cows and plows, where I've also heard calls for help around past substandard and harmful dental practices that were performed on primarily the Cree First Nations in Saskatchewan.
Now, Rob, do you have a sense of how many people may be affected?
Well, a conservative estimate right now is about 10,000 people, and that's going to increase because these are the First Nations in and around the Meadow Lake or Central Saskatchewan, Southern Saskatchewan, and the average reserve number is 1,000 to 3,000 people per community. So I'm doing the math on it, and it's going to be well over 10,000 and growing.
Now, Rob, why did your organization specifically want to spearhead this?
Yes, our mandate is to help band members get access to justice. We are the only registered national nonprofit organization in Canada that does this type of work. So we do partner with the legal community, i.e. with law firms in Canada, to help us fulfill our mandate. So we are grateful to have the legal services of D.D. West, a law firm in Calgary that specializes in class action. And the lead class action lawyer is Mr. Bill Klein, whom I've got to know over the past year.
And Rob, last one for you here. What's the response been like to this, and what are some of the next steps?
Yes, the response started to grow just after the Christmas holiday. Every day when I check my email, there are at least 5 to 20 email responses or calls for help saying, "Hey, can you send me the application form for the class action? I'd like to be a part of it."
All right, Rob. Well, there's certainly lots to think about here. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us a bit of what's going on here.
Thank you kindly. Have a great day.